Welcome back to the channel. Aaron here from the Bitcoin Bros, and we're having a little bit of a sell-off here today. As you can see, all the Bitcoin proxies, Bitcoin has sold off a little bit here today. You have MetaPlanet down 28%. Not financial advice, but it may be a good time to buy the dip on some of these BTC proxies. Like and subscribe. We have new Bitcoin content coming out every single day, and on Thursdays we live stream at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, so make sure to check us out there. And the reason why all this sell-off is happening is because Trump came out and said they're going to recommend a straight 50% tariff on the European Union. So it's just more tariff drama causing the market to sell off. What do we learn at the beginning of the year? All this tariff drama is a great time to buy the dip. So it could be a great time to buy the dip right now on Bitcoin and the rest of the Bitcoin proxies. Getting into MetaPlanet here a little bit today, it's been the #1 most traded stock in Japan. The #1 most traded stock in Japan, that is huge. MetaPlanet had a massive short squeeze. Now it's pulling back a little bit. Great time to buy a great company. Not financial advice, but it is down more than 50% from the all-time high that we saw just a couple of days ago, which is crazy. And then updates from SMLR here. They acquired an additional 455 Bitcoin for around 50 million, and they generated all this Bitcoin using their ATM. So good to see there from SMLR. They now hold 4,264 BTC. And then the blockchain group, they confirmed the acquisition of 227 Bitcoin for around 21 million euros. Now they hold 847 Bitcoin, and they're going to continue to buy Bitcoin. Their CEO came out and said their goal is to get 1% of the Bitcoin supply, but we'll see if they get there or not. In the way that they bought their Bitcoin, you can see right here, they did a capital raise, a convertible bond issuance, and a reserved bond offering to obtain that Bitcoin that they just recently bought. And then checking out strategy here, coming in today, top trading volume, $4 billion already traded on strategy. And now we're down here a bit, but you can see it's up here with the top companies in the world, top 5 right now. That is good to see. Strategy down, a potential buy the dip opportunity there. And if we see where strategy is right now in the top US companies ranked by market cap, it's fallen down a bit at 95. $100 billion market cap right there. We're down around 8% today, but a potential buy the dip opportunity, not financial advice. And the MNAV for strategy has gone down here a bit at 1.8. So as this MNAV comes down lower, basically the way I read this, some people may disagree with this, but the way I read the MNAV is the hype in the market right now for strategy. When it goes above 2, gets up to 2.5, or even goes to 3 or even higher, that's going to be a lot of hype in the market. When we see it below 2, at like a 1.8 or even closer to 1.5, that's when there's just not a lot of hype for strategy right now. The Bitcoin price has been going up, but strategy has not been going up with it. So could be an indicator to potentially buy strategy while there's not a lot of hype around the stock. And then getting into the ETFs, they had a massive inflow yesterday. $934 million, basically $1 billion inflow from the ETFs yesterday. That is huge. Just this week, through 4 days, they've acquired around $3 billion worth of Bitcoin. These ETFs are continuing to gobble up all the Bitcoin, along with all these corporate treasuries buying and strategy buying. Bitcoin is becoming more and more scarce by the day. And Bitwise came out and said that there's going to be $427 billion of institutional money that is about to buy Bitcoin. That is a huge number. There's not that much Bitcoin out there for all these people to buy. The exchanges don't have 4.2 million Bitcoin to sell them. So this is going to cause a huge supply shock. And they're saying this is going to be by the end of 2026. So if we look at our multiplier effect that we calculated from last year, we get around a 17x multiplier. This was based on last year's numbers from the Saylor buys, the ETFs. We've explained this in some past videos. I'm not going to get into it today. We'll talk about it more in the future, but we get a 17x multiplier. So if we get a 17x multiplier on that 429 billion, that will add 7.29 trillion to the market cap of BTC. That's going to put it close to a $10 trillion market cap, around a 500,000 Bitcoin by the end of next year, potentially, if we see what Bitwise says here come true. And then we have H100 Group. Health and Bitcoin are joining forces. They're going to be doing an initial 5 million NOK allocation to buy Bitcoin. And you can see right here, 500 million or 5 million NOK is going to be around 500,000 USD, but just more companies that are going to be buying Bitcoin, putting it on the balance sheet in the healthcare company. So that is really good to see. And then just ending the video today, looking at the global M2, Bitcoin has been following this to a T. We just got a recent little pullback here, and it may continue to go up here over the next couple of months. And if it does follow this path, we could be at $200,000 before the end of the year. So this chart has continued to play out this way. We'll see how it does for the rest of the year. But if it does continue to follow this trend, we're going to be in for some fun for the rest of the year, guys. So be prepared for that. I have a clip that I want to play for you guys here at the end of the video. Really appreciate every single one of you guys watching our videos. Like and subscribe for more content. We appreciate every single one of you guys. Let's go ahead and check out this clip here, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
So he's like old school value investor, but he embraced Bitcoin early as one of the largest miners. I mean, he's a really interesting cat. But I say he's the only guy I've ever met who makes me seem bearish on Bitcoin. Like, I think Bitcoin's easy 500,000. Like that's not even hard. That's a cakewalk. That's a walk in the park. But beyond that, can we really take the whole global monetary system? He's like, Mark, are you joking? Of course that's going to happen. And he lays out exact step by step why it's not like, to me, 10 trillion is like, it's done. That's the monetary value of gold. Bitcoin's better than gold. That's it.
Monetary value of gold is almost 30 trillion now.
No, the monetary value. Remember, half of gold is chalices and jewelry, and that doesn't count. I'm talking about the monetary value, the stuff that's in the central banks that is the base layer of money. And it probably is closer to 15 trillion than 10. But everyone talks about the total value of above ground gold. Well, your gold watch doesn't count. I mean, it's not. I mean, it could be used as money in a pinch, but really I'm talking about the base layer that sits in the central banks. And so that's easy. But Murray says, no. It's all of it. It's all 100 trillion of knowable wealth, because history says that bad money crowds out good. That's why it's called Gresham's law. And you see an example after Turkey, after Venezuela, after all the places where bad people get in charge and they hyperinflate because they get rich because they own all the stuff, and they impoverish their people, and then they stay in power because they promise the poor people little scraps like free electricity or gasoline. And that is gone on for actually millennia. Bad money crowds out good. But Murray will say, no. This time, because we have perfect money, good money will eventually crowd out bad. And it's a very compelling argument, particularly when he tells it.